Slide, slide, slippity slide. I do what I do to survive. Slide, slide, slippity slide. When you live it in the city, it's do or die. Slide, slide, slippity slide. I don't know how long I've had it in my head. All morning. Hello there, I'm Scotty. You're not welcome back to Birth Month 2026. Today we're looking at a Kazaam, because that's what I am. I am the man. I am Kazaam. I am what I am. Wait, that's not. Yeah, starring Shaquille O'Neal. Yep. I did change. Now, you made me thinking, Scotty, according to your schedule, this is supposed to be a revisit. Yeah, well, that changed, okay? It's my schedule. I can change it. Okay? No, I realized that Kazaam was on Disney Plus. I didn't realize it was on there. I would have done it during December, but I'm glad I could do it now because it's only technically a Disney movie. It's a Touchstone Pictures film, so that works. Yeah, so we're talking about, this is another one of those movies I've seen a long time ago. Though this wasn't such a long time watch as something like Monster-in-Law or not Monster, Step Monster. Wrong monster movie. Step Monster or Radio Flyer or The Mighty, where it's been years and years. This is one where it's like, I think the latest I watched this was like 2011. It was on YouTube. And I watched it on there back then. So, not that long. 15 years. Shorter than the other ones. And, yeah, this is one I watched all the time. I think I mentioned this. I had a VHS tape that had, there's two different ones. Because there was The Mask, Little Rascals, and Nightmare Before Christmas. Last one I didn't watch as much. But this one, it had like D3 The Mighty Ducks, Kazaam, and something else. Right? So, yeah. And Kazaam, not to be confused with the non-existent film called Shazam. They even have it on the Wikipedia page. Here. Shazam. Many people falsely remember a similar 1990s film titled Shazam, starring comedian and actor Sinbad as a genie. However, no such film has ever existed, and it is possible people are misremembering Kazaam as the aforementioned film. Sinbad denied ever having starred in Shazam on Twitter. One theory for the belief in Shazam is that Sinbad wore a genie costume while introducing the 1977 film Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger on TNT in 1994. In addition, in the late 60s, Hanna-Barbera had an animated series about a genie called Shazam. Quite enjoyed. Watched that quite a lot. Love that show. The earliest online reference to Shazam dates to 2009 when an anonymous Yahoo Answers user made a post asking if other users had remembered a 1990s movie star Sinbad as a genie, finding no success finding others who shared their memories. Isolated incidents of internet users asking about the movie would pop up over the next years. In 2011, a Reddit user, UMJG Simple, made a post likewise asking users about the movie. He tentatively recalled its title, Shazam. On 11th August 2015. No, that's the year after he passed. I was like, that's when, no, it was the 14th is when he passed. No, it was the 11th of August 2014. Robin Williams passed away. This is the next year. Vice News published a story discussing Berenstain Bears and its relation to the Mandela effect. Because it's Berenstein, and all of a sudden they misspell one book and now it's Berenstain. Because it was Berenstein when we grew up, damn it. Which helped popularize the Mandela Effect Reddit community, where users flocked to discuss Shazam. Afterwards, discussions of the alleged Sinbad film sharply rose in prominence. As April Fool's prank in 2017, College Humor released a parody VHS trailer for Shazam, starring Sinbad, in which he plays a genie who gets released from his lamp by two children, Rachel and James. During the production of Shazam for Fury of the Gods, David F. Sandberg planned to give Sinbad a cameo role as a nod to the alleged 1990s film. However, Sinbad canceled his appearance due to health issues. He was also supposed to be in Good Burger 2 and wasn't able to do that either because of health issues. Though he did a voice cameo in that. Yeah, so there is no Shazam unless you're talking about the movie with Zachary Levi and Don't Stop Me Now, I'm Having Such a Good Time. Yeah, that one. There is no genie movie called Shazam. It is Kazaam. It's only ever been Kazaam. Because that's what I am. And oh, man, that was funny. You guys didn't see that. I picked up my bottle. The DVDs I had sitting here fell off into the garbage. The garbage knocked over onto the floor. Eurotrip and Cape Fear. That Cape Fear could have stayed in the garbage. I have it. Nothing against the movie. I have the Blu-ray now. But I'm going to give the DVD to Brandon. My friend. Eurotrip was just there. It was another one that was on the docket for a revisit, and I took it off the list. So it's sitting there for now until I can put it. Alright. So, Kazaam tells the story of Max Connor, who accidentally discovers a genie inside of a boombox. By the way, they never actually, they show how it happened, but Kazaam never has any sort of jarring effects to it being a boombox. Now it's just like, this is my boombox, and then that's where I go and make the wishes, and I'm just like, but it wasn't a boombox, because you see it's a lamp that, yeah. But, yeah, he finds a genie whose name is Kazaam. He doesn't believe it at first, but then eventually comes around to it. And this is weird for a kids movie. The 90s had kids movies that were like in disguise as other movies. The Santa Claus was actually about a father trying to reconnect with his son. This one, Kazaam, is actually about a kid who's trying to reconnect with his father. You have these movies that are for kids movies, right? That are just like, The Mighty Ducks is not just about a bunch of kids playing hockey. It's about a man struggling with alcoholism, dealing with that, and then having to change his life because of these kids in the hockey team. Gordon Bombay is as much a main character as the other ones. He is the main character focus of the first two. He even goes through a change in the second one when he hurts his knee or whatever it is in the minors, and now has to go through this whole change. He becomes this big shot, Mr. Big Shot. Who do you think you are? All it becomes about kids and teens and goofy horse poop in the third one. Because the focus of that movie are the kids, where you have some goofy stuff in the first two, but there is very adult things. The 90s had that, where it was a kids movie with some adult things put in, and this is one of those, where it's about this kid that has 3 wishes, he did whatever he wants, but it's also about him reconnecting with his father. And there's a kid who was raised by a single mother, most of the time, and having to deal with, there's a whole thing in this movie about how she wants to remarry. He's going to have a stepfather. I've dealt with 2 stepfathers. One, not so good. The other one, actually is good. So, it's a coin toss as to how that's going to work out. I literally have had both sides of the coin. So yeah, and this guy, this Travis, he seems like a very nice guy. So, but, yeah, so we start off the movie at a building that takes forever to get demolished. Oh my God, they keep showing the wrecking ball. Miley Cyrus could have been faster. Jesus, it came in like a no, never mind. It came in like no, just kidding. It came in still not. All the time we keep cutting back to the bottle with the genie. He's like, hey, he's in there. You don't see him, we hear him. And then finally, after forever, psh, crash. It's the thing. The thing goes, oh, hey, he starts speaking gibberish or some kind of language, and you just hear the crash. And we are to assume he fell on the boombox, and that's why he's in the boom. No time for that. We got a cut to introducing our main character in the most 90s way, by the way, walking down the hallway to slide, slippity slide. That's what I do to survive. I do what I do to survive. Slide, slippity slide. When you're living in the city, it's do or die. Slide. He's king the lockers. This is a troublemaker kid right here. He's popping up in the class. He's going, his friends are going, and then we have whatever 90s movie has to have bullies who bully him in the bathroom, because that's what you do in the 90s. They bully you in the bathroom. And he's like, hey, well, I got what you need right here. This key gives you a whole bunch of things. There's like, get you, there's a locker at some place, and he gets you, there's like watches and Rolexes and a bunch of other stuff. And they're like, they take it. Turns out it's the key to the supply closet, because he gets to the classroom and he's like, by the way, I hate this teacher. Every kind of response she has is detention, no matter what he does. There is a scene in this movie where he just poofs out of nowhere, and this woman's response is detention. No, you need to say, how the hell did you do that? And then you can say, well, you can explain that to me in detention. Not to, he poofs in out of nowhere. It's just detention. You don't want an explanation or nothing. Yeah, it says here the wrecking ball demolishes an old abandoned building, causing a magic lamp inside to fall onto a boombox. The genie inside named Kazaam decides to reside in the boombox. I guess. We don't see it ever go on that boombox. It just... yeah. Eventually, Max comes home. Talks to his mom. Max, by the way, played by Francis Capra. The grandson of Frank Capra? Remember correctly? Maybe not. Maybe not related. I thought he was. I thought he was related to Frank Capra. I guess not. Just a name, I guess. He was in Crank. He was also Jesse on Heroes, season 3. I'm gonna get back to it. I got this thing I have a season 3 to talk about, and I got season 4 to talk about. And Reborn, which that's a doozy to talk about, actually. But, so Max goes home, we meet his mom, Alice, which is his mom, played by Ally Walker from Universal Soldier. This was 96, right? Go up quick. Yeah. 6. I was 9. By the way, one of the bullies, and I was like, I recognized him right away. Well, he's a bully, by the way. I'm like, that's Pedro. It's Efren Ramirez. He's one of the bullies. Pedro's a bully. You wouldn't think that would be possible, but yeah. So, yeah. So Max finds out that his mom is finally going to get a divorce from his dad, and she's going to marry this guy, Travis, played by John Costello. I think that's how you pronounce that. I never seen anything else before, but he seems like a nice guy, but, you know, there's misunderstandings and all that, so he runs off. And this is where he's like, well, I thought you couldn't find that. And so he runs off on his bike. And this is what I don't like about movies like this, because I've been talking about this constantly on the channel. I feel like convenience. He leaves and he just goes down a couple blocks and boom, the bullies are right there. Like, how? What are the chances? This is New York. You know how big New York is? They're right there. So they chase him around, and this was weird to me. They go down an alleyway. He goes through the fence, back down that way. They also go through the fence and back down. But it's the same alleyway. So it's like, why didn't they just run down the alleyway and meet him on the other side? Right? They demonstrate the knowledge around them when one group goes on one side, go the other into this alley. But end up at the abandoned building, and that's when he goes to hide, and in there is the boombox, which he bumps. Now, you may say that, well, this hitting the boombox, that's what, stopped them from finding him, or stopped them from not finding him, like his hiding. But I don't think he would have hid good enough even if that boombox wasn't there. Kazaam manifests, and is like, I am a G, and he could explain what's going on, but instead he has to rap. So I read this production. Okay, the film's origins began with Paul Michael Glazer, that's right, of Starsky and Hutch, was taking his son to the NBA All-Star game when an acquaintance who was on Shaq's management team called and asked if his son would like to meet him. I'd be like, no, I want to meet Michael Jordan. Shut up. No. Because I was a Jordan guy. You were two things back. You're one of two things back in the 90s. You were a Shaq fan, or you were a Jordan fan. I was a Jordan fan. Shaq was alright, but I was a Jordan fan. In passing, so after saying yes, the acquaintance asked in passing if he knew any film roles for Shaq, to which Glazer replied, well, he could play a genie, which led to the foundation for what would become Kazaam. So Glazer took Kazaam to Warner Brothers, because they helped Michael Jordan in Space Jam, and then he also went back to Interscope Communications, where he had already done 2 pictures, because he's a pretty good director, I guess. And Glazer had to have a screenplay and a green light in 10.5 weeks, or we wouldn't be able to make the movie, because Shaq had to go back to basketball camp. I did play basketball. I did pretty good, but I had that script. It hurt my feelings. So, yeah, the script was written in 6.5 weeks. That explains a lot. With production commencing after 10 before going into turnaround, it was acquired by Disney, with Touchstone Pictures. So, yeah, 6.5 weeks. Script was written. So yeah, there's a lot of things in here where Shaq could just explain certain things, but it had to be in a contract where it was like, he has to rap it. He has to rap it. So here he kind of, hey, who are you? What do you want to do? He has to like rap to these kids, and they all run off except for, Max, who's like, he tells Max, hey, I'm a genie. He's like, yeah, right, you're a genie. He doesn't believe him. Which, this dude just manifests out of a fucking boombox, and you don't believe him? And he's like, no. And basically, he's like, okay, I want a Jaguar. Black. XRE, whatever it is. Jaguar, black, XRE. And he's a little rusty. He can't get it to work, so he's like, nah. This just glosses over everything. Kazaam becomes Max's genie and demonstrates his powers before disappearing. Not really. So Max goes home. Right, he just took off and no one's home when he comes home. It might be the next day. I don't know. He comes home, he gets something to drink, and he sees on the table, because she just left on the table a piece of paper that shows the address of where this man that she doesn't want her son to have anything to do with, right there. So he's like, okay. He's just gonna go to the address. Kazaam then approaches him again. Right, they had this talk. He's like, I'm busy. I gotta, So Max goes to the place, trying to find his dad. He does find him, but he's too nervous to say anything. They thought, hey, there's a kid here to order pizza. What's going on? So the one thing that they did to limit what they could do on the screen is that, unlike the genie from Aladdin, Kazaam is not the semi-phenomenal cosmic powers. He may live in space. No, he is limited. I mean, Genie had limits. Can't make people fall in love. Can't make people back from the dead. And he can't wish for more wishes. And then he can't... what was it? I forgot what it was. There was 3 of them. Can't fall in love. Can't bring people back from the dead. And there was one more. But like here, it's like, I can only do like physical things. I only do like material items. Nothing, nothing phenomenal. Though I do question that because the first wish is he wants. His first wish is that he wishes for junk food to rain from the sky. So he does it stuff like a cheeseburger. And I know there's some CGI involved, but a lot of it looks very practical. I had it, It was just like... And I'm like... I would have just said I want a cheeseburger or something, man. Right? I mean, I guess it's better than Bedazzled, where it's like, I want a Big Mac and a Coke. And it just takes him to McDonald's and he even had to pay for it. That's not really a wish. Right? But he's a kid in the 90s, no less. So junk food it is, right? All this junk food. And it's like burgers, fries, there's candy coming down. I like how Shaq, he gets the umbrella, Yeah. So, this is out of order again, so I gotta go. So Max does eventually go back and he does step up and introduce himself. He's like, hey, my name is Maxwell. Connor. This is my son. And what I like about this character, about the dad character, he's not just that piece of shit guy who just pushes his kid away. He is excited that his kid has found him here. And you get a sense throughout the film. Like, there was moments where you feel like maybe he is that piece of shit guy, but then you realize he's really not trying to be, and it's more like he wants to be better, but he knows what kind of profession he's in. It's a weird profession where it's like he's a music agent, but it's also crooked like the mob. Because there's this guy named Malik who is played by Marshall Manesh. And I saw him, and it wasn't until he smiled I went, I know that. Is that Ranjit from How I Met Your Mother? Sure shit. I looked it up. It is. He's not on his Wikipedia, but I had to look up Ranjit. I said Rajesh first, but Ranjit, How I Met Your Mother. It's him. It is him. A little younger than him, still. This is like 10 years before. And he is the bad guy in this movie. And he reminded me of the guy in the mask with the ponytail. Hey, Dory! Who's sort of a bad guy, but he's also not really. You know what I mean? That guy, the Dorian tries to get the money. He steals all his money or whatever. I think that money was actually going to charity. He wasn't that bad of a guy, but I don't know. But Dorian was. But here it says Max notices his father during his journey home. That's not exactly true. But it says here that Max doesn't care about his father's job like I would, like his music, right? That'd be cool. But it's not the music that you grew up. It's Da Brat which I've seen on all that once, and someone called Spinderella, which is made up for this movie. Shaq is into it because he ends up rapping with Spinderella, and yeah. Uh, and so yeah, he gets noticed by Malik. Now, here's the thing: he broke a rule, right? And they don't ever. He never gets punished for it. Nothing. He's like, I cannot show my powers to humans. And I'm like, except for you. And I'm just like, well, he makes the boombox explode when he's doing his performance. That's Green Egg and Hammett. That scene. I'm just like, but you said you couldn't show. And Ranjit obviously knows there's something with the. I want the boombox. I wanted the boombox. He's just like, right. So the next morning, Max wakes up in bed with Kazaam. How big is his bed? And it's weird. He's like, oh, you stink. He's like, whoo. So he takes a shower right there in the middle of the room. Covered up, but still, magical shower. And then when he goes down, okay, first of all, this is something I always wanted. Chocolate and peanut butter French toast. Peanut butter chocolate French toast. How the hell do you make that? I need the recipe. Is there a recipe for that? Hold on. No, I don't want to look at drinking, Josh. Come on. Chuck. No, I don't want Chef's chocolate salty balls. Chocolate, peanut butter. Oh, peanut butter balls, and I'm gonna French toast. Peanut butter chocolate stuffed French toast. Wasn't really stuffed. Chocolate peanut butter French toast. Crispy chocolate peanut butter French toast. Book your seat, folks. I was making Mr. How Sweet 8 pounds of healthy, crunchy chicken fingers, and I happened to take the side of Kellogg's cornflake box recipe for crispy French toast and stuck me like glue. And yes, it said 8 pounds. 8 lbs. Hello. I don't care about cornflake crumbs. Use Texas toast. Initially, I was just going to make this peanut butter French toast. See that crunchiness up there. Okay. So I did this. But, see, this looks like a delicacy type thing. You know, more like that. What they showed was just a regular French toast. You make some fly. Flying French toast in 1996, folks. That's what we got. Because he shows up pretending to be the tutor, because Mac's not doing so good in school. Then he makes 3 pieces of French toast fly to his mouth. Tries to make the 4th one go into Max's mouth. That sounded wrong. But, like... peanut butter spread, I was reading at. Love races, basically fresh chocolate peanut butter cup served in the form of an overnight baked French toast. Why would you bake it? Just fry it. Chocolate peanut butter French toast, healthy protein. I don't know. I guess I should put it in recipe, shouldn't I? Casserole. Recipe. And then Shaq burps, and he's like, "Oh." Like, I don't know. It's something to look up for later, I guess. Just interesting. Chocolate peanut butter French toast. It's like, was it when your show when they said their favorite ice cream was mocha mint? Was that? I don't know what that was, but I mentioned it, mocha mint, and I'm just like, is that a flavor? It is. I looked it up. It is. Yeah. So Max still has 2 wishes. And this is where things get more into the... Yeah. Max tries to wish for his parents to fall in love again, and he's like, I can't do that. I'm not a djinn. So we get the concept of what a djinn and a genie is. A djinn has all-encompassing powers where a genie can only do material things. Which I guess fits into the genie from Aladdin thing. But I don't know. But there is this tape that was recorded, Cinderella and Shaq's performance, Kazaam's performance, that Max is bragging to the bullies about because he wants to be accepted, I guess. So he's like, I can get it if I want to. So he sneaks in and he takes it, but the bullies take it from him. But now Max's dad is in trouble because Ranjit, yes, I'm going to call him that, his name is Malik, needs the tape. So Max tries to force the genie to give him a new tape. The genie poofs them into the master tape room to get it, and he's like, no, I need you to make me a new one. Which he does, but he gets pissed and he leaves. And at this point, it's become very apparent that the genie now really only cares about fame now. He's becoming famous. He said all this stuff. He's like, hey, we were in Malik's limo. We was chilling, and we was eating, and we was chilling. And I'm just like, okay. We also have a scene, I guess this is before this. This is the other scene I'm talking about, where it's like, Shazam decides to tell Max about the history of genies. But he doesn't just talk to him about it. No. He has to rap with him, and they both rap, and I'm going, Is this the point where people just are like, what is this movie? Because I can see that. I grew up with this. It's been years. I guess at least 15 years since I've seen this. And I'm just like, They're rapping, and then they're both in the genie uniform going, I am Genie! I am Genie! I'm just like, I am in need of alcohol. No. But Malik is now intent on getting the boombox. He knows there's something with Kazaam, not just musically. There's something else there. But this is where Max has a conversation with his father, where his father's like, you know what? My life is not the best. Alright? I messed up. You don't get second chances. Just go. Just get out of here. So Max decides, hey, I want to wish for my dad to get a second chance. But he's like, I can't do that. I'm not a djinn. I don't have that power. Only material things. And of course, like I said, at this point, he's kind of pushed away. But, no, Malik... Malik kidnaps Max and takes control of Kazaam's boombox. Nick has also been kidnapped. Malik tries to use the boombox to make Kazaam do his bidding, but Kazaam says no and breaks free from it. And defeats Malik and his minions. Bello, not those minions. Kazaam then turns Malik into a basketball and dunks him into a garbage disposal. But it doesn't say how, but Max is dead. I missed that too when I watched it. I'm like, he's just dead, and he's upset about not being able to grant Max's wish for a second chance with his father and all that, and then poof, he becomes a djinn. Apparently he learned a lesson or something, I don't know. and he brings Max back to life, which actually should have been his third wish. If Genie rescuing Aladdin from underwater without Aladdin actually uttering the words, I wish for to be free from the thing, counts, then this should count as his third wish. But no, he said he actually grants Max his wish for a second chance with his father. Kazaam is Jinn. Now, and then there's a fire in the building. I don't know how that starts either. It just happens. Travis is there because these are firemen. And I went, wait a minute. All these firemen, and it just happens to be Travis that rescues him. And this is all so convenient for New York. A big ass city like New York. Everything, it's very small, I guess. And he's like, wait, Shazam, he was in there. Or Kazam, excuse me. Kazam, he was in there. You know, what happened? And then Nick goes to talk to him. He's like, look, I'm sorry. All right? I want to make things right. I mean, maybe, you know, I'm gonna have to pay off my debts and I'm gonna have to do some time, but when I do, how about we get a couple of rods and go fishing? Is that okay? He looks at the mom. Is that okay with you? And I was there to be like, no, fuck off. But you know, I guess she understands. She's like, yeah. And he's like, and then like, is there what the hell's his name? Is there a Nick Mateo here? Oh yeah, his name is Nick Mateo, by the way. That is also the name of the head of Spin City Records on Drake and Josh. Nick Mateo. Who's that? He's me. Oh. He's right here. Yeah. And so he's like, so he and his mom kind of make up, and he's okay, let's go home. And they go to leave, and he stops, turns around, and he looks at Travis, and he goes, you coming? And that's supposed to be like, oh, he's sexing now, he can come with. But I'm sitting here going, there's a fire here. He's a fireman. He's got to kind of do his job first, right? And at least take off. And he's like, you know, I could use hot chocolate. And it's right in front of him. And then you just see Kazaam with the girlfriend. I think that's supposed to be Cinderella walking. And she's like, you got to do something now. You're going to get old. And he's like, you mean get old? He's like, you got to get a job. A job? How am I going to find a job? And he just turns around, looks mad, and goes. And that's how it ends. I like this movie, right? I grew up with this movie. So maybe I'm a little bit different. I think there is two different kind of ways to look at this movie. Those who are adults who watch this movie for the first time, maybe for yourself or watched it with your kids, or then you're a kid growing up and you watch it. And also, I think if it's different if you're a kid, if you were to sit your kid down now and watch it with them, I don't know that they would understand it as much as someone who grew up in that era. Because, like, when it starts with slide, slippity slide, like, that is so 90s. Kids nowadays would be like, what is that? You know, like, this is very 90s, very urban 90s, very hip-hop 90s in that way. Slide, slippity slide. You just start with that, and it's like, oh, we are in the 90s. This is 96. We are deep in that. So that, I'm going to give this a very high, middle of the road. Yes, I like this movie. All right, so sue me. What are your thoughts on Kazaam? Leave me comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Scott, and I'll see you in the next one.